Thanks for staying up later. Helen Hunt is with us. As you probably know, she's in the big smash hit NBC sitcom Mad About You, which comes on the air at 9:30 Eastern Time on Wednesdays, right after Seinfeld. And some people have said this is a little bit like what it would be like if Jerry and Elaine got married on Seinfeld.
We're the downtown version of them. They live on 89th Street or something, and we live on 12th Street and 5th Avenue.
And all sets in Burbank anyway, right?
Right, and it all takes place in Culver City, so forget it.
But for this to work, people have to believe there has to be a natural chemistry, not just decent acting, but a natural chemistry between you and Paul Reiser, so people look and say, yeah, those two could be married.
Thank God we get along, because I'm with this person like many hours of the day. I knew him a little bit before the show started. His wife and a friend of mine are friends, and so we knew each other a little bit, and I had a dinner party and had them over to dinner, and we got into this conversation, like 6 of us, about marriage and relationships, and 3 months later he called me and said, I wrote this thing, which you should read, and I loved it, and get along with him, thank God.
You're a little bit neurotic, and you played a variety of roles. I mean, your character is a little bit neurotic. I haven't known you long enough to make that judgment.
But it's incredible. It's uncanny. I am a little bit neurotic.
I saw through you, didn't I?
You did. Wow.
I'm incredibly intuitive that way. Your character is a little bit neurotic, and it might not be immediately obvious because Reiser's neurosis is more on the surface,
right.
but yours is underneath.
The hope was that the show would never settle into being, you know, he's the neurotic one and she's the grounded one, or she's kooky and he takes care of her, because since I signed up for 5 years, potentially, we sort of promised each other that these would be whole people, and the way real relationships are when one of you is completely in a spin and the other is taking care of you, and then it shifts around and suddenly, you know, you're the strong one and the other guy's trying to take care of you. I mean, you know what I mean. I got lost in the middle of that sentence, but
it's happened to me.
But I'm back now.
This show and Seinfeld are perfect companion pieces. I mean, it's pretty obvious that if somebody likes Seinfeld, they're going to hang around for this too.
Sometimes I like to think that. Sometimes I wonder if they're like, you know, get off. I don't know that. I hope they're not. But it's such a funny show, and our show is very different. I mean, there is a certain sentimental, for lack of a better word, or heartful quality to the show, because by definition it's about a love relationship. But if we can be as funny as they are, we'll be in good shape.
Seinfeld's a little darker at the core than this one is.
Yeah.
But this is definitely a New York type story. This isn't Beaver Cleaver.
No, we have a show coming up that takes place all in the West 4th Street subway station, which I know very well because I was in there every day for years, and so it's definitely a New York thing.
And the West 4th Street subway station is a place you want to spend as much idle time as you can.
It's built for comedy, I think.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please don't panic. There's a slight delay. There's a little fire in the Bronx. It's in the Bronx, and the train is already on its way. We'll be here in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Didn't Raoul say 20? Or why are you just lying to these people?
Don't tell me how to do my job.
I just think you should be honest.
Well, why don't you bare your soul? Go ahead.
Excuse me, folks. Well, we have an update. We're looking at a 20-minute delay. Have a nice day.
Well, you know, honey, you really got a knack for this job.
You know what's the amazing thing about New York subway platforms? Among many things, the sign, no spitting.
We looked at that. They had one of those, no spitting. Oh, I was going to spit. Damn it.
Exactly. But think about what this says about their notion, the Board of Health's notion of who they're talking to. You don't get on a plane.
They've underestimated what might happen on the train, is the truth. Well, people only spit. You're really lucky.
Yeah, that might be the least of the problems, come to think of it. But you don't get on a plane and find a sign, no spitting, by order of the FAA.
No smoking and no spitting. There's no spitting section, sir. I'm sorry.
You don't get in a cab and there's a thing from the Taxi and Limousine Commission, no spitting. But on the subway platform, do not spit. I guess the scene that people talk about most to this point in the show's short history is the one where they spontaneously have sex in the kitchen as a way of settling the argument while the guests are in the other room.
A woman we were interviewed, we did this press conference for all these reporters, and they're insane, these press conferences. Isn't it also true that, you know, it's like some Senate committee hearings, and this woman said, darling, I have a question for you. Yes? You're not married. Do you think this could really happen? I said, sure, I'm not married, so I can say yes. I can still fantasize that it could. There's people out there.
You got enough chips to keep them occupied.
Come here.
What are you doing?
Come here.
Hey.
Come here.
Wait, hey. There's people out there.
Nobody come in here for a while. It's a big surprise.
You don't scare me.
It was a little teeny part of the pilot, but what I liked about it is that we have this huge fight in the pilot, and then they literally make love on the kitchen table, and the idea, I think, was, okay, this show is going to be everything that happens between those two extremes, you know?
Do you find that all of a sudden there's an explosion of people saying, hey, Helen Hunt, because we've got this and the Billy Crystal movie, Mr. Saturday Night, coming together at the same time?
Yeah. The nice thing about it is it used to be that I had to give them my resume. Like, I've seen you somewhere. What have you done? Project X? No. Okay. I was on St. Elsewhere? No. Okay. So, like, life is sort of a big audition now, at least, they say. Mad About You or Mr. Saturday Night.
Mr. Saturday Night is a terrific role.
Yeah.
The agent who tries to get Billy's Buddy Young Jr. back on the track.
Yeah. I love how unique the relationship between those two characters was. We did the first scene I had was this thing we shot in front of Roseland where we're walking down the street, and I've got high heels on and this white coat and this blonde hair, and he's, you know, in his little old age suit, and I thought, this hasn't been done in a lot of movies, these two people getting together.
Yeah. Who did you model the character after?
My agent, completely and totally. My agent is at CAA. I don't even know why I do that. I just do that.
How'd you get on this show?
But she's this sort of elegant, warm, perfect creature, and I tried to be like her and tried to get down her walk, which is much smoother than mine ever was. But I modeled it after her. And I stole one thing that has happened to me every time I've ever met with an agent, which is if they're taking you to lunch and trying to sort of court you, they take out this little piece of paper and they make notes while you talk, and so you're furtively glancing at the notes, and you know, call Coppola for Helen, and you're like, really? I could have that if I sign up? Get Sidney Pollack on the phone regarding great part. Okay, well, I'll sign up. Whatever you say. So I threw that into the Friars Club scene. Wells, Annie Wells.
What are you? You know, I mean, you know, what do you do?
I'm an agent at ITI. I handle comedians. Now, here's what I thought we could do today. You could give me some sense of what you'd like to be doing. You know, how do you see the Buddy Young Jr. career developing from here?
Who's Harry Ritz? Jack Carter? Phil Silvers? Myron Cohen, Shecky
Phil
Green,
Silver...
Herky Styles, Dick Shawn, Fat Jackie Leonard.
I'm sorry, am I supposed to know these people?
Yeah, you are supposed to know these people. Because they're great comedians. Great. Comedians who love to be on a stage. Professionals who could take an audience like they were herd of wild buffalo and move them into a corral. Masters of a craft.
Well, I guess they were before my time. I just decided, you know, it's as if someone shellacked this girl and she just will not be fazed. How are you? And until he literally, you know, yells profanity at her across the Friars Club. I mean, that wakes her up a little bit. That's what was nice about the part, is it's, she really changes because she knows this guy. You know, he really does slap her around, and I think she's like a better person at the end of the movie.
And really comes to care about him, as maddening as he was.
He pointed out that these two characters are incredibly similar. They're both stubborn. They're both sort of incapable of saying I'm sorry ever. They're both driven, you know, and that made it fun to play, that they're this very strange mirror for each other.
Our producer, Michael Weinberg, told me that you never saw him during the whole filming out of the makeup.
I certainly saw him a lot before, and we had this big kickoff dinner at Sammy's Romanian, and then we started shooting this 5-month movie, and I never saw him out of his makeup. And then at the very end, I came in to do an interview, and I went like, oh, Billy Crystal is here. There's a famous person here. I realized I'd gotten to know him as this actor and director, and had completely, it helped to just erase, you know, what you know about this very famous face in front of you.
The most significant part of this old age makeup, as I recall it, the purple lips. When those lips get purple, you know you really shouldn't be buying anything, you know, long term. Right. Don't buy green bananas if your lips have gotten purple.
That's hilarious. or a suit you're going to grow into. Probably take a pass on that.
And home sings me of sweet things. My life there has its own wings, flying over the mountain, though I'm standing still. The people I've seen, they're coming between the cities of tiring life, and the trains come and go, but inside, you know, the struggle'll soon be a fight. And home sings me of sweet things. My life there has its own wings.
Well, now that Mad About You is off to early success and you've got a great role in Mr. Saturday Night, we can ask this question without hurting your feelings, we hope.
Oh, God.
What have you done that you would like to have burned? That if it shows up on HBO someplace,
Yeah,
or
'cause it's gonna
Cinemax,
show up
or
here. I know what
or
you
The
people
Late
do.
Show. That's right, or from our clip file. That's the
Yes.
idea.
Oh, man. Do I dare? All right. I played a princess from outer space in The Bionic Woman. My friend. That's what I
The
did.
Bionic Woman with Lindsay Wagner?
No, the other Bionic Woman. Yes, the Bionic Woman. No, the original Bionic Woman.
You mean
Yes.
it's not like one of these Phyllis Coates, Noel Neal, two Lois Lane deals?
No, she's the only one. Yes, and I had this sort of, oh, it's going to show up on this goddamn show.
Yeah, you're leading right into your own humiliation.
This is like this. I'm like, okay. Yeah, with this very heartfelt sort of Meryl Streep-esque monologue about my people back on the planet, whatever, that need me. It's very, very heavy is all I can say.
Why wouldn't Meryl do it?
They went the other way. They went with me. Frankly, I beat her out. It's amazing. I'm also, by the way, like 11, and I haven't developed yet, so I'm in the Silver Lame, like, it's wild. It's just so wild, and I'm such a sucker to bring it up.
My name is Jamie Summers. I live over in Ojai. Now, what's your name?
I'm Princess Aura. My home planet is Zorla. It's another planet in another solar system on the other side of the galaxy.
Look, Aura, I don't know if that's your real name or not, but, you don't have to tell me who you really are.
Aura is my name.
We're back from the clip, and wasn't it fun? Man, that's acting.
Wow, it's just very heavy. But I did it, so there you go. Oh, you must have some kind of Bionic Woman hidden somewhere in your past, don't you? Some version of something that you wish wasn't there?
You know,
I'm smart enough not to say it.
well, actually, see, I've never done any acting, so you can't get the clip. I mean,
Right.
I've certainly made a fool of myself more times than I can count,
Right.
but they're not chronicled as easily as yours.
If you're up after this show and you're, you know, turning the channel around, you're bound to see all sorts of bizarre things. I was Murray's daughter in the Mary Tyler Moore Show, a little known fact.
You've taken care of my next question. Go ahead.
That's it. Was that your question?
Yeah, well...
Who was Murray's daughter? Helen. Yes, I
Now,
was...
please make sure your response is in the form of a question if we're going to play this game.
Yes, I was Murray's daughter in the third to the last episode of the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
And how did this happen?
I auditioned and, like, got the part. They were all bursting into tears every 5 seconds, like, because their show was about to be over. And,
Murray was... Murray had a daughter sort of in the script, but
was
we
a
never
last-minute
saw her,
daughter.
right?
You mean earlier? I
Yeah.
guess. I'm not entirely clear. He was ghostwriting for Ted, and he had to make money because his daughter needed a new coat. So.
Man, this is pathetic.
Yeah.
It's like the storyline on Queen for a Day.
I do what I can. I was like 12. What can I tell you?
Hi, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Honey, are we too early?
Oh, hey, gee, I can't go to lunch for another hour.
That's okay. We'll go shopping in the meantime.
Yeah.
We're going to get Laurie her new coat.
Hey, good.
We were going to try to make do another year, but all of a sudden Murray decided we can afford it now.
Yeah, I'm finally going to say goodbye to this ratty-looking thing.
You took acting lessons from your dad?
Yeah. He's a wonderful acting teacher, and everybody thinks it would be strange. And I realized recently that it wasn't strange for me, but the poor guys in the class that I asked to do love scenes with me may have had a slightly tougher time than I ever thought. But we're very good friends, and he's an incredibly gentle, egoless teacher. You know, you hear these horror stories about acting teachers that chew up actors, and he's not like that.
Did it carry over to home?
No, but I feel when I go to work, I feel like I have this wonderful suitcase full of technique, you know, and if I get thrown by something, and on a movie set you get thrown 35 times a day by all the insanity that's there, that I really have got a solid technique that he taught me. I'm incredibly grateful to him.
I'm sure people who've never done it have wondered about this, about a class like this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you actually be taught nuts and bolts in terms of technique, or is it all more in the area of guiding you toward your talent?
I think both, but I definitely think there are nuts and bolts to be learned. I hear about people, you know, just, they're going to start acting, and it makes me crazy because there really is a skill to it. It's slightly more elusive than painting, because there it is in front of you, you know, but there are ways to do it. And I think every director should have to be in an acting class. I really believe that.
Do you look back on your own work and say, I could have done that better if I'd done it 2 or 3 years later. I know more now, could have done it better.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why when the opposite feeling happens, like with the water dance, I went, okay, if people like it or don't, I actually don't have to care, because I know that when they said cut, it felt right. When I go see a movie, it's completely unrelated to the experience for me. Like, it's just this strange, flat thing that vaguely reminds me of when we made the movie. But and this I think I learned from my father, because he, instead of telling you what he thought, he asks you to tell him first how you felt the work went. But when they say cut, I go, ah, that's right. Or yeah, a lot of times in dailies you'll hear cut, and then you'll see me go, can I have another one? Because I know immediately if I liked or not. Not that I'm always right, but I have my own meter for how well I thought it went.
So knowing what you know now, and with the increased confidence of recent success, how would you play the princess from Jupiter?
No, that was flawless. That's a flawless performance. I'm sorry. There are a few things in this world that shouldn't be touched. There's, you know, Meryl Streep's monologue from Sophie's Choice, and then there's the princess from outer space. That's all I'm saying.
No, my parents sent me away.
Well, that's absurd. Why?
They were afraid I'd be captured and held hostage in the war, so they sent me to Pawn. That's a planet of sanctuary on this side of the galaxy.
And we're back with Helen Hunt. Tell me about the water dance. I haven't seen the whole thing. I saw some clips of it, and I know it was well received in the sense of those few people who saw it apparently responded well to it.
I'm as proud of it as anything I've ever done. It was one of those experiences that you know, if I look at my career, there's just a big star on that whole experience. I read the script a year before it even had any financing, and I thought it was one of the most beautiful things I'd ever read. And I did a table reading of it for Neil Jimenez and Mike Steinberg, the directors. And I just kept badgering them and saying, I want to be in this movie, I want to be in this movie. And then when it got financed, I went in and met with them, and it was one of those meetings where it's supposed to be that they're courting you, but you really know that, you know, you're trying to get this job. And they gave me the new script to read and said, you know, read it and call me on Monday and let me know what you think. And I sat in my car and read it and called him from a payphone at this Mexican restaurant in Santa Monica and said, I love it, I really want to do this. And I loved the whole experience.
And Neil Jimenez, the director, is paralyzed himself from the waist down, right?
Right.
And so this is, if not exact in every detail, it's largely autobiographical.
Right. You know, Eric Stoltz plays a novelist instead of a screenwriter, but yes, certainly it was largely informed by Neil's experience. And we shot it in the hospital where he spent 6 months recovering from his accident. It was an incredible thing, and there's often rehearsal time before a movie, but it's kind of a joke. Everyone sits around and eats fruit and carrot sticks and talks, and nothing really gets done. And this was like real rehearsal time. Eric and myself and these two directors sat down and just said, okay, we're about to tackle this incredibly tender material, and we all just talked about our feelings about it, and were allowed to ask any question we wanted, and thank God that was the case, because it was delicate stuff to do.
We understand the patient's need for sex therapy, but on the ward, well, the other patients tend to feel left out.
Of course.
Then there's something about insurance which even I can't figure out. If it were up to me, I'd change the rules.
I understand your dilemma.
I'm sorry to embarrass you. We all have our needs.
No, it's, I mean, yes.
Middle button.
And when you do anyone's story, I imagine you feel a certain responsibility, not just to the facts, but to their essence. But here, the guy whose story it is right there.
It's right there.
Right in front of you every day.
It's odd. You do and you don't. I mean, you certainly want him to feel pleased with it because he's so close to it. But on the other hand, just by definition, I'm now playing, you know, what would happen if I were to go through this, and Eric is playing what would happen were he to go through this. So I've played a lot of parts that are, you know, like true-to-life TV movie kind of parts, and I always do research before I do a part, and I just sort of look at it as, here there's a whole wealth of research material built in, you know, and then I have to turn it into me.
The magic of the holidays. It's captured in holiday cards, holiday carols, and holiday windows. Now MasterCard offers a little magic of our own. Master Values, an exclusive program that saves you up to 25% instantly when you use MasterCard at thousands of stores nationwide. Look for offers with your monthly statement. Master Values. It's like getting a gift when you buy a gift. Only from MasterCard.
Responsible adults aren't supposed to have fun. Wake up. We can do whatever we want. Drive racing cars to work, play golf in our pajamas, tennis on the bus, or baseball in our mother-in-law's living room. All you need is a Game Boy. It's a personal game-playing system with over 200 puzzle, action, and sports games to choose from. Hey, fun is your reward for growing up. Start playing.
You really got to get one of these.
Game Boy by Nintendo. Have you had your fun today?
The Remington microscreen shaves as close as a blade or your money back. Remington has diamond-honed cutting edges and 2 flexible, ultra-thin screens that stretch the skin and lift whiskers to let you shave below skin level. That's Remington.
Sears has the lowest monthly payments of any national department store. Just use your Sears Charge Plus and get these great gifts, or anything else for $1,000 for only $21 a month. The lowest monthly payments only at Sears. You can count on it.
Right now, you can get 21 extra bags of groceries into a Dodge Caravan, or 14 extra family pets, or almost enough extra equipment for a Pee Wee League football team. Because for the price of a regular Caravan, you can get a Grand Caravan. That's 25 extra cubic feet of space at no extra charge, for savings up to $26.50 during the Dodge Awards Celebration Sale. Because the only thing better than America's best-selling minivan is more of it. See your nearest Dodge dealer today.
Helen Hunt, folks. We're out of time and out of here. See you later. But watch Mad About You Wednesdays on NBC. Bye. Thanks for staying up later. Belated Happy Thanksgiving. This, as you can plainly see, would be Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel. They were here about 3 years ago, at which time we went over their backgrounds, how they got where they are today. We did 3 shows with them. We did all that stuff. So we're just going to pick up with current movies. But before we do, you promised me some sort of scoop here. Now,
yeah.
The last time you were here, just to set this up, the last time you were here, you did something which I'm told has never been seen before or since. You revealed the ritual by which you get into the proper mindset to do a show.
Yes, it's very important at the beginning of a show to have high energy, and so we always do peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold. We're very good at it. We can do it very quickly.
Hey, a brief reprise just to remind those who might have missed it.
I'm sure people haven't forgotten.
They have 3 years ago.
Roll that tape, will you?
Peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold, peas porridge in the pot, 9 days old. Hey!
Something like it.
No, come on.
Come on, you know we go all the way.
Hot, some like it cold, some like it in the pot, 9 days old. Mom likes it hot, Dad likes it cold. I like it in the pot, 9 days old.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, now we're out of the clip. What have you got for us this time?
Well, Roger, and I don't admire Roger for a whole lot of reasons, but one of them that I admire him for is he has an uncanny ability to imitate Ross Perot.
and I'd like to give him his national television debut right now.
You did not prepare me for this.
I did not, but he's spectacularly good. Close your eyes.
Because you don't have the proper physical characteristics.
funny,
Like
Bob.
Carvey can
Thank you
become
very
Ross
much.
Perot.
Already he's criticizing me. I haven't even started yet.
Now you see, that shows a man who's defensive, because why would anyone think it's a compliment to say that you had the proper physical characteristics to be Ross Perot?
If you were Roger Ebert, you would. The other day in the office, we were sitting around, and I started doing Ross Perot, and I kind of got rolling, and it was okay, but I'm sure that I can't do it from a standing start on national television. I'd be embarrassed to even try.
Oh, come on, Roger.
But you have to now.
You can do it. You're great at this. I give you confidence.
We got all the plans we need. They're all sitting around. All we got to do is put one in action. It's that simple. You need somebody who's had some experience in hiring and firing, somebody who knows how to run a company and how to keep a balance, keeps the books balanced. You get those books balanced, you get those plans in action, you get somebody who can make decisions, in the first 100 days you can turn this country around. It's that simple, I promise you.
He's got the cadence and the content.
You don't think the voice? He was pushing a little hard because he's nervous.
It's fair.
I'm very nervous, yes. I've never done this before. And then somehow you have to work in this line. They get in there, they think maybe the chief of staff can take care of all their problems. The buck stops here. You can't have a chief of staff go out and take your problems out of your hands for you. That dog don't hunt.
That's not bad. But you see, you put your man on the spot.
I know
here.
that. But
yeah,
I'm
that's
proud
very
of him.
embarrassing. Yes, you ought to see him do his imitations. He doesn't do any. It's a very extraordinarily good day in the life of Gene Siskel when he can sound like himself.
You know, actually, people say I imitate very well. A smarter film critic than you every single week of the show.
Isn't that strange? And who would that be?
You see, now we start out...
Anybody that I've ever met? I doubt it.
We start out on this contentious, adversarial note.
It keeps us young.
Why did you book us if you didn't want that?
People are sitting by the hearth. They've just finished their Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, they're all nervous.
I just realized what has happened here.
What?
He has set me up to fail, which I just did, and to look foolish before you even have asked a single question of either one of us. Already, he's there. He's, look at him, Mr. Moderator. Mr. Moderator, he's taking over the show. He's in the middle. He's not on one side. He's in the middle.
True.
You and I are both guests. He's told you what to ask me. He's told me what to do. He told you what you thought of it. It's very insidious the way he works.
Have you guys ever interviewed each other?
Never.
If you were allowed one question, truth serum's been passed out, and you're each allowed one question of the other, which question would you ask him?
I would ask, because I'd ask this of most people, I think it's a very illuminating question. I would ask, what are you most afraid of as a human being?
And your answer would be?
Falling.
Falling literally or figuratively?
Falling through the air from a high place to a low place. It's my worst dreams involve that. And in my dreams, as I go down, I always have time enough to think to myself that I put myself in the position where I fell. In some cases, I think to myself, you climbed all the way up the mountain. You went to all that work just so you could fall, or you had to stand next to the window, or next to the ledge, or next to the airplane door, and I'm falling. And I have time enough to think. That's the worst of it, see? And it's been a recurring nightmare ever since I was a little boy.
Not uncommon, by the way.
But really terrifying. I mean, I don't like to stand next to drop-offs and things.
You know what they say?
It's not a thrill for me to stand at the edge and look down at Niagara Falls. I let somebody else take pictures and I can look at them back at the hotel.
What they say is that the fear of falling sometimes is a fear of jumping.
That I feel that some uncontrollable urge will cause me to jump even though I don't want to.
Or that some part of you feels that you deserve to die.
Well, I'm sure that some part of all of us feels
nice
that.
holiday fare, huh, folks?
Who cut the toiki?
I'm sure they all have that kind of, I wonder what I would ask Gene.
Well, it's your turn. Truth serum. He's going to give you a truthful answer.
He's going to give me a truthful answer. The problem is his question was really a very good one.
See, we're even competitive about that.
Yeah. And that's annoying to him, you can tell.
Okay, I'll ask a question.
Go ahead.
What do you envy the most about me?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I knew it was going to be something like that.
A very intelligently worded question, too, because it presupposes that there's actually a long list, and you've been asked only to cite the most.
We don't have time for the entire list.
You know what I love about that question is, and I will answer it, and I will answer it, but the answer won't be as interesting as this.
Speak for yourself. It's your answer.
Yeah. Is that what that question reveals about Roger is something I've always suspected, which is he is really not interested in me at all, and is interested far more in himself.
Bob, that is the truth. I feel that right here you have one-stop, full-service film criticism. I can give you any answer that you require involving a film, new or old. We really don't need him in order to completely satisfy.
So you view him as your foil?
It's very difficult because, you know, we've been on the air now 17 years, and over that period of time I've reluctantly come to conclude that I wouldn't have had the same measure of success without Gene. That, in fact, even though both of us have gone through our entire careers feeling that the other person was essentially unnecessary, and the only thing incomplete about what Gene just said was that he feels I'm as unnecessary as I feel he does.
Not true.
You don't?
No.
Well, that's true. Then
no,
I think because I am more necessary than you.
No. I answered your question honestly in that, what do I envy of you? I've said this many times. I think you're a marvelous writer. And I think that Roger, my reviews are more written in news fashion, like a reporter going to a fire. Here's the most important thing that I felt about the movie, and bang, here it is, and here's supporting evidence, and I'm out of here, that kind of approach. Right. Roger is more of an essayist, and I envy that because it's a real skill. And in the city of Chicago, and I would think nationwide, because his column's syndicated, I think he's very highly regarded as a pure writer, and I think that's great.
Since that is the case, how frustrating is it to you that you are, by many multiples, better known for your television work and for stuff that has to be in capsule form than for the more scholarly things you write?
Well, I feel that my reviews are widely enough read to give me a certain amount of satisfaction, and I feel I would be a fool not to think that I was very fortunate to be part of Siskel and Ebert, to tell you the truth. It's been a very good thing for both of us, and we've enjoyed it, and it is fun. We taped a show yesterday. We enjoyed taping it. And as far as that goes, I'll even tell you what I envy the most about Gene, apart from extremely personal things like his daughters, which is, you know, something that everybody would like to have, two beautiful young daughters.
Thank you.
Like Gene's. But he always seems
I noticed you gazed at your wedding ring as you made that comment.
No, I was counting my fingers. I still have the 5 that I started with. You never know when you come to NBC.
Fear of losing fingers is the second fear.
Yeah,
fear of losing fingers.
I was going to say that would concern me more than a fear of falling.
It's very difficult for me to put this into words, but Gene will know what I mean. Gene always seems to have the inside information, the inside track. He's always got it figured out. He's always there ahead of everyone else. You tell him, you can never surprise him. You give him a piece of information that you think is hot off the presses, he will already have something that outdates that.
Well, that supports his description of himself, that he's the reporter and you're the essayist.
He always seems to be on the phone with somebody finding out something that I don't know and that I'll never know. Yeah, I feel that basically he goes through life much better informed about all of this stuff, most of which is probably completely inconsequential, than I do.
So you've just given the lie to your own assessment, that you're the one-stop film criticism, sort of the photomat of film criticism, because he brings...
I sit in a little cart, I sit in a little hut in a shopping center, and you drive up and I give you my review.
Just wear a blue suit and a yellow hat.
And listen, when you return an old review, you get a new review.
Please, fellas, 1 point. It's not a little hut.
But obviously you each bring something to the mix.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. I think a reporter essayist is a very good thing, and I think that we get under each other's nerves because of those skills that we envy. I think you did a real good job getting that out here, and it is a real pleasure to do the show. I think we do real film criticism on the show. I don't think you have to apologize for it being in the TV form or encapsulated. I think that people obviously find it of value, or we would have been long gone. I think, and you would know this very well, in syndicated television for a half-hour, once-a-week show, to have run 17 years is in syndication, in 10 years in syndication, is very hard to accomplish. Consenting adults is the kind of picture that makes the claim against Hollywood lacking family values seem entirely appropriate.
Oh, come on, Gene. I hope you're not...
I'm not turning, Roger.
Turn into some kind of...
I'm not going to turn into Roger, and I will like a good one.
This is a good movie. This is a good thriller. It's well put together. The characters do have humor. The entire movie is a comedy. I don't see how you missed that.
I didn't laugh.
The movie has values that we either agree with or don't agree with, and that's what it's about.
Just trying to...
Not some censorship at the factory gate.
I'm not trying to censor it.
What's the most disturbing trend in films today?
The televisionization of feature films. It seems to me that when you have 2 hours to tell a story with no interruptions and a captive audience in a theater, you have an opportunity to get to be very complex about the characters, to allow them to talk and behave in idiosyncratic and individual ways. And frequently in the movies that we see today, they behave in the same predictable and stereotyped ways that they do on formula television. I think maybe because a lot of the people who are now running the studios came from television.
Gene?
Yeah, same thing. Roger used a word. He's heard me say that word often enough, televisionization.
So he's copying your stuff?
No, well, I'm not accusing that, but I'm going to make another point. I used that word in the...
I don't remember ever having heard Gene say that.
I said it in the Tribune. I'm going to go... I said it in the Tribune.
I don't read the Tribune.
A dozen years ago, and I've used that word
since. I haven't read the Tribune in 25 years.
And I think I coined that word. At any rate, not a word that comes
televisionization would be a word that nobody would have ever used before Gene coined it.
Didn't? I'm glad you're using it now.
You take a noun and azation, and you get a new word. It's been done before, believe me.
I must jump in before I forget, and then I'll let you continue.
That's the Siskelization of the discussion we're just having.
You live in a two-newspaper town.
Yes, we do.
Sun-Times and the Tribune. You actually don't read the Chicago Tribune?
No.
And the answer to that is...
Do you read the Sun-Times?
Yes. Home delivery, actually.
Now, what does that say about you, in your opinion, and what does it say about him?
I'm open to fresh ideas and good information from any source, and Roger is afraid of reading the Tribune because he might find out that it's a better paper than Sun-Times, and he would rather, and this is not a joke, this is sincere, he would rather go through life feeling that his is the best paper in town rather than get contrary evidence.
Your retort?
I read a better paper than the Sun-Times. It's called the New York Times.
Do you see Gene's reviews, even if you don't read the Tribune? Do you get copies of his reviews? Do you want to have a sense of what he's writing?
Gene's reviews appear on America Online, and I occasionally look them up there.
Okay, now where were we before we got detoured?
Well, we were talking about whether he didn't want to... He isn't reading the Tribune because he doesn't want to find out that there's good stuff there.
Yeah, but you were following up on his thought that the televisionization of film is the most disturbing trend.
My point was not to be self-aggrandizing about the word televisionization, but to make a point that I used that word 12 years ago. This has been a process that has been in process for a dozen years. The commingling of television, the small screen, and feature film, the big screen, has been going on for a long time. And with the, to coin a new word that's also not very good, internationalization of the film industry.
Well, that's an interesting word.
We are seeing, because of the desire to reach the worldwide audience, you're getting even more simple films because you want fewer subtitles. So you have fewer... you have more simple plots, more action pictures. Schwarzenegger, the perfect melding of the two forms.
I agree with Gene. The problem with a lot of movies is that they don't really even bother to have a plot that lasts for the entire film. It's so refreshing in a film, for example, that we both like One False Move, that the plot continues to develop and grow more interesting and more complicated and more surprising right up to the last shot in the movie, instead of simply, as so many films do, going on to automatic pilot in the last half hour with a shootout or a chase or something that avoids the problem of dealing with the personalities of the characters in the movie.
Now, films don't have to be literary. I mean, by definition, film can be pure imagery. But in the narrative film, which dominates the American film industry, we are clearly living in the effects and seeing the effects of a post-literate society. People are not reading, they're not writing as well. And we see it with films. We used to say very often, we will say there's no third act. Now we're frequently finding there's no second act.
What's the worst it ever got? Did you guys ever continue it so that you were at one another's throats when the taping?
This is interesting. We just discovered this because somebody asked us this question. Now, oddly enough, we drop it. We drop the film-related controversies. The personal ones have a life of years.
What's his most annoying trait?
You saw it here. When he answered the question, rather than show interest in me, he showed a much greater interest in himself. And that bothers me. It bothers me two ways.
What are you talking about?
When you asked the question, he asked, he asked me a question, you asked a question that would accrue to you. Remember that? When you said, what do you envy about me? See, because I do respect him, I do like him, and therefore I would think, wouldn't he be really interested in me? Why would, and therefore...
Wouldn't you think, Bob, that after all these years as a critic, Gene would be perceptive enough to know that I wasn't really asking that question to accrue to myself, but I was actually using it as a competitive technique in order to, in the debating situation we're in here, to score a point?
What's his most?
I don't really care what he envies the most about me, but I felt that it would be a good question to ask in terms of our little fencing match here.
I didn't think...
And I'm surprised he didn't pick up on that.
No, I think that's a reason given after the fact. I thought it was a very revealing question he answered.
What's his most annoying trait?
Most annoying trait? What he just did, analyzing what I did and pointing out how it was wrong. He does that all the time. He is constantly, I finally tell him, just let me make the mistakes. Let me be this stupid, unsophisticated hick from Urbana. I know that I say the wrong, because he's always telling me what I should have said, why I said the wrong thing, why my motives were wrong, why they were flawed, and so forth. He is always doing that.
You think you're smarter than him?
Different.
He thinks he's smarter than me. Yes, you do.
I answered different. I considered the question and said
consider
different.
it long.
That's right. I didn't have to, because I wouldn't answer yes to that question. Different skills. I think that you got a big difference out of it. I think we're both fairly smart and different.
What do you eat at the movies?
Dots.
Dots.
Love them.
You know what's the bad thing about dots, though?
Obviously.
You can't tell in the dark of the movie theater where the red ones are, and the red ones are the best ones.
About dots. Dots don't have a distinctive taste. If you're blindfolded, you can't tell one dot from another. But with Chuckles, you can. You can always tell the licorice from the strawberry, from the orange, from the green one.
I eat Chuckles in this order. The red one first, the orange one second. Okay, now I'm fading, but I'll go to the green.
The licorice is last.
Absolutely. I'll go to the green, I'll go to the other. The licorice one I don't really
The yellow
know.
one, to me, is a complete washout. It doesn't taste like
I can't believe the mistakes that are being made here.
Well, set us straight.
I guess I do what he says. I'm going to correct you both. First of all, the red ones are not the best ones. The red ones are really, really sweet. I just ate some dots yesterday, so I'm...
But now we're talking Chuckles.
I'm going to get back to dots. There was a whole passage here I have to correct everyone.
Okay.
The dots. I would argue that if you would sensitize yourself to the orange dot, you will have a far better dining experience than the red dot. The red dot is juvenile. It is overloaded sweet. The orange dot has a little flavor to it.
But you know what really the best are? Red Hots.
Those aren't bad.
Spicy cinnamon Red Hots.
To get back to his mistake, you can't tell a licorice dot from a red dot or a green dot.
I can. If you have somebody from this show go downstairs and buy some dots, bring them back up here and blindfold me, I will bet him $5 I will be able to tell you which color dot I'm eating.
All right, now we are doing...
You're talking about Chuckles you can't decide?
Well, you just said dots.
Whether you know this or not, whether you know this or not...
Chuckles, I'll bet you $10.
Whether you know this or not, we're doing a second show.
Chuckles.
We're doing a second show because we've used up almost all the time for this show. So in the second show, we're going to come up here with some Chuckles and with some dots. Okay. And we're going to put this to the test.
You'll tell the red dots from the other dots. I'll tell any Chuckle. You name the Chuckle.
I thought you said you couldn't. Check the tape. I thought you guys were arguing that you couldn't tell the difference between Chuckles and dots.
I can tell the difference between...
Of course you can.
Between Chuckles and dots, they have a different shape.
No, here's the
dots are like little thimbles, and the Chuckles are ribbed.
Chuckles are ribbed, and they have little sprinklings of sugar.
And when you were a kid, you ate one thing of Chuckle at a time. Remember?
No, you suck off the...
No, I popped the whole thing right in there.
Really?
Suck the sugar off.
But here's the problem with dots. Chuckles do not stick to your teeth the way dots do. Dots get right back in there, and man, you got problems.
They're the worst.
Here's the simple question. If you could have, right now, a package of dots or a package of Chuckles, which would you rather have?
Chuckles. Okay, once again, happy Thanksgiving. Have a nice long weekend. They're back here on Monday because we haven't talked about any specific films. We'll talk about specific films that are current on Monday. We'll also have the much-awaited Chuckles and Dot test, so you'll want to set your VCR for that. But since it is Thanksgiving, before we go, what is the biggest turkey of the season on the screen?
Frozen assets.
No disagreement there?
No.
What's so bad about this, real quick?
It's an amazingly bad movie.
Punishingly stupid.
Yes. This is a movie in which not only do the characters need to be stupid to be in the plot, but they have to be so stupid that they have to not be able to remember what they have just said, even earlier in the same sentence, in order for the end of the sentence to make any sense. It would almost seem to be impossible to make a movie
I bet the people that, when they made it, Shelley Long and who was...
Corbin Burnson.
Corbin Burnson, Paul Sand, I bet they were sad when they made the film. They all look sad. It's a stupid comedy.
And on that upbeat holiday note, see you later, and later will be Monday with this same duo.